making new friends, keep the old friends, walking on a cloud. Let's have some fun till the day is done. Fireflies light up the night. Life is good because we have music, so why don't we just sing all the time? We may be different, we make mistakes. Sometimes we give and sometimes we take, but each day we learn and each day we thrive. But most of all, life is good because we're most of all, life is good because we're most of all, life is good because we're alive. Some heroes can fly and others don't need to. Some can stretch from here to there, and others lead the way to somewhere. What they dream and what they do inspires us all to see it through. Stand up and be heard. One little light can change the world. Stand up and be heard. One little song can change the world. My mom, my dog, and cousin Cassie help me when I'm in need. Like Rosa Parks and Dr. King, they help us believe in something. Some don't think like others do. It takes courage to do something new. Stand up and be heard. One little light can change the world. Stand up and be heard. One little voice can change the world. Stand up and be heard. One little light can change the world. Stand up and be heard. Your one little song can change the world. I wanna know who you are. Don't wanna judge you by your car. Do you speak the truth? Can you sing like rain? I wanna hear what you have to say. Skin, it can be pretty thin. Skin is just the suit you're in. Skin. I wanna know what's in your heart. Don't matter if your skin is light or dark. I don't care where you live or what you wear. If you got cornrows or straight blonde hair. Skin, it can be pretty thin. Skin is just the suit you're in. Skin.
can be pretty thin, but you look so beautiful in your skin. It's the suit that you're in.
Come on and give me some skin.
Like a trip on the wind, slip on the rain, wander around, forget what to say. If I fell from the sky, I'd land in the clouds. I'd whisper, I love you, right out loud. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I don't know why. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I'll be your lullaby. Let's go see the stars dance on the moon, sing in the sunrise like the nightingales do. We'll follow Orion as he traces the sky and whisper te amo all through the night. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I don't know why. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I'll be your lullaby. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I don't know why. Hablo bajito, te quiero. I'll be your lullaby.
I used to know the names of all the stars. Now I just know a few planets like Jupiter, Earth, and Mars. I used to know the name of every child. Back before I was born, back when I was safe and warm, back when I was flying in the sky. Now I have to go to school and learn it all again, get good grades and try to remember when I used to know the words to all the songs. Now I only know the melodies and I just hum along. I used to know the language of the birds, the robin and the blue jay. I always knew what they would say, the prettiest songs that I have ever heard. Now I have to go to school and learn it all again, get good grades and try to remember when. I used to know the names of every tree, and now they're just a forest in the dusk of evening. I used to see the God in everything, and now it's just a rustling, a whisper that I'm trusting when the redbud blossoms in the spring. And now I have to sleep and learn it all again, and let my dreaming take me to the place where it began. Oh, oh,
Life is good because we have music, so why don't we just sing all the time? We may be different, we make mistakes, and sometimes we give and sometimes we take, but each day we learn and each day we thrive. But most of all, life is good because we're alive. Sweet as candy, sweet as family, sweet as apple pie. Good times and bad times, sad times and bad times, young, wild and free, it's good to be me. Life is good because we have music.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Because we have music. It's so wonderful to see you all for our Sunday evening gathering here in our Zoom room. It's been such a magical place. Since March, it's been quite a few months. It's hard to even count back to March.
It was a long time ago.
Paul and I have hosted on Sunday nights this concert series, raising thousands of dollars for musicians, from Miranda Hope, Adam and Jesse Rogers to Tom Paxton and Kathy Mattea. We've just had amazing artists that have shared their Sunday evening with us performing. And tonight is no exception because we've got two amazing artists that are going to be with us this evening. But the other special thing about tonight and our concert coming up in December 27th is that it is a time that we are getting ready, that we are honoring Kid Penally, and we're honoring children. So I'll share a little bit more about that as we go through this evening. But I would like for you to know that this evening is really celebrating. It's all about celebrating our work, Kid Penally's work with children. And so donations tonight will go towards working with children and providing songwriting sessions and workshops for kids that are both virtual classrooms across the country or in schools that have multiple models where they have some children in person and some children still in the virtual state. But more about that later. We have amazing artists with us this evening. We have Annie DeChant, and she is just this amazing storyteller and artist who writes these sweet, beautiful songs of people who stumble and keep keeping on. Her masterfully crafted, poignant songs create worlds where her characters and stories come to life. So we are so excited to have her with us this evening. And we also have someone who is actually a legend he's a legend in our household. And I am so excited to meet him for the first time because I've heard many, many, many stories about Mr. Kahn. And we'll get a chance to share some of those as well. But he has spent 45 years as a composer, a lyricist, and a book writer for musical theater. He's released over 20 albums of original songs, full productions at the Godspeed Opera House, Berkeley, Milwaukee, Tennessee Repertory. He's just an amazing, amazing man. But my favorite story about Cy is that he encouraged and inspired Paul to write a song every day. Now, Cy, I have to ask you how much truth there is to this story, that you actually offered...
Well, why don't we can wait until we tell the story. And then we
Okay.
can see how much lying we're doing then.
All right, well, I have something written down here, and I want to know how much truth there is to it. But I'd like for everyone in our Zoom room to please welcome Kahn and Annie DeChant, and we're going to start off with Cy. Welcome, Cy.
You should have been on the river in 1901, chopping cotton in the white man's sun. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye, my friends. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi, goodbye. You should have been in that county in 1902 when they did anything that they wanted to do. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye, my friends. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye. You should have been in the Southland in 1903 and seen the things that they'd done to me. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye, my friends. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi, goodbye. You should have been on the Delta in 1904 when your blood would freeze from a knocking door. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye, my friends. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye. You should have been on the plantation in 1905 when we all went north just to stay alive. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye, my friends. So long ago, so long ago, so long, Mississippi. Goodbye.
Oh, that was so
Great,
beautiful.
Cy. Wow. I love that song, Cy.
Well, you actually told me that if I wanted to be on the show, I had to sing it, Paul. I mean, let's get real here. I mean, you know.
I love that song so much.
Yeah, well, no, there's a story here first. Paul and I actually do go back to 87, just right before the revolution. We were both peacemakers trying to make peace between the British and the Americans. That lasted for 30 seconds. No, we were on the side of the rebels. Of course, we're still on the side of the good-hearted rebels. But in 1989, having known Paul for many years and having known his extraordinary skill in all areas of music, I asked him if he would serve as the producer for an album that was going to be called I'll Be There. It was commissioned by the Communications Workers of America, one of the larger unions in our country, to celebrate their 50th anniversary. And Paul did an absolutely extraordinary job. I mean, one of the things, Paul, now we're going to talk about plausible deniability. I believe that Paul had me hanging by the hands from a chitting bar and singing on the grounds that would open my chest and I would sing better. Am I right? Do I have a witness?
Yes.
Yes.
I was there, I think.
Unfortunately, I dislocated both shoulders. That's why I'm here like this. But what's a couple of shoulders among friends? So yeah, and Paul did this brilliant job, really a brilliant job. We did it in a home with a remote. I think it was Gypsy Recording Studios. The studio was in a bread truck parked outside
Right. It
with
was
cables running into the living room where we had the microphones. And Paul just brought in this wonderful assortment of artists. Issei Maria Barnwell from Sweet Honey in the Rock, Mary Chapin Carpenter, the great Howard Levy playing harmonica and piano. Who else? Bobby Reed on horns, and Paul himself.
Paul Trapezoid was part of that. Anne Louise and Cheryl Hurwitz and Tim Valdez and Bobby and I were Trapezoid.
Yeah, kind of. It was a small production, no big deal. So yeah, it was wonderful. Some wonderful, production values and some great playing. And so Paul said, he's a gentleman. He would never say, if you don't do this song, you're not on the show. But he did sort of say, I was listening to the record, hadn't listened to it in 20 years. Boy, there's a couple songs I really love. I'm smart. I know when somebody's lobbying me. So yeah. So, just thanks to Paul and to you, Cheryl, for Kids Pan Alley. Are we going to talk about this later?
Absolutely.
This is good. So this is just an extraordinary thing that you guys have done, full of heart, full of grace, full of generosity, and so important to children. So, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, we look
Todd.
forward to more stories. The night is young.
Yes, but we're not. So we may not remember the stories, right?
But we'll try and survive the night anyway.
That's
There
right.
you go. There you go. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, thank you. And speaking of stories, I mean, Annie, you have played with so many amazing musicians. I was reading your bio, and they're like all my favorites: Melissa Etheridge and Sheryl Crow and Stevie Nicks. I'm like, oh my gosh! So I am so excited to hear your music, and tell us a little bit about what's your latest project.
Well, I just released my first greatest hits record, which it was Sai's idea. He's like, you should release a greatest hits record. I'm like, awesome, because they're already recorded. I don't have to do a ton of work. But there are some new ones on there. But we released it during this pandemic, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do that, but my manager, Art Minius, was like, we're doing it. And we did a fundraiser, which I was a little uncomfortable about, but it all worked out. And now when I look at it, I'm so glad I did, because, it's the normal cycle of things for us to do that, to release every year or a couple years. And it feels right now. And I think that it has given people some relief and some joy, and that new stuff's coming down the pike. So yeah, I got my Every Little Everything here with me tonight, and I'm gonna sing the title track, which this is funny, Cheryl, because you're talking about how story oriented my songs are, and they are. But tonight I'm gonna start with the something really light, and it's the title track from the new CD. I wrote this when I was on a plane to New Zealand with Aaron, and I do not like planes. The woman who wrote Girls in Airplanes does not like to fly. But I was on this 11-hour flight. I just had listened to some Bob Dylan, and You're Gonna Make Me Miss You When You Go. And that was kind of in my head. So that's how this came about, and it's really just a love song. So I'm gonna play Every Little Everything for you, and then we're gonna get real deep later on.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm hoping Paul's getting everything here. My machinery decided it didn't want to work like it normally does, so the Louise should pick it up.
Annie, it might be.
Okay, Paul.
You sound a little quiet compared to.
Yeah, you sound a little quiet.
If you
So
can.
we're
turn
gonna
up
make
a
an
little.
adjustment here real quick. We're gonna go strictly off the Louise mic, because my iPad doesn't want to talk to the rest of my equipment.
We find that happens sometimes live.
Now we can't hear you at all, though.
Well, and Annie is not a quiet person, I am glad to say.
Nope.
No.
You cannot.
Oh, there we go.
Yep,
Yeah, but it's not very loud.
Now it's
Okay,
very,
turn
very
up.
quiet.
Check, check, 1, 2. Turn it up more, Aaron. You can go up more. Thank you, honey. How's that?
Great.
Better?
That might be a bit much, but we'll see.
A bit much. We'll back it off. Okay, thanks a lot. Here we go. I love it when you sing for me. I love it when you sing for me. Broken lines and broken notes like colors on a ragged coat. I love it when you sing for me. I love it when you whisper in my ear. You tell me things that many in their life will never hear. You hit me low, you get me high, you throw my troubles to the side. I love it when you whisper in my ear. I love everything you do. The way you walk, you talk, you laugh, you love like you do. There's not one whisper I would change, not a note I'd rearrange. Add 'em up and you get why you got me like you do. I love every little everything about you. I do. I love it when you're lying next to me. Your hair's a mess, you're laughing and talking in your sleep. The world is waking up outside, but you're right here. Me, oh my, I love it when you're lying next to me. I love everything you do. The way you walk, you talk, you laugh, you love like you do. There's not one whisper I would change, not a note I'd rearrange. Add 'em up and you get why you got me like you do. I love every little everything about you. Oh, the little things we gather up inside. They're the moments making up our lives. I love everything you do. The way you walk, you talk, you laugh, you love like you do. There's not one whisper I would change, not a note I'd rearrange. Add 'em up and you get why you got me like you do. I love every little everything, every little everything, every little everything about you. Oh, it's a million things, but you're everything. A million little things, but you're everything.
Wow. Wow.
Wow! Thank you. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
I love that. I'm just like so filled. I love everything that you do. What is so powerful.
Thank
And I also love your poster, never shut up, never give in. That is like, oh,
You're
yes.
going to hear that in a couple minutes.
Oh, okay. I
Thank
have a
you.
question for you. How young were you when you started writing songs, or when you were inspired to follow music as your path?
Well, you know, I
Should
think,
everybody carry one thing?
can everybody
No,
what?
there's so much to carry.
Let's
do a little bit. Thing.
I think I
Probably wants us to sit down and eat our
somebody's
dinner.
on.
Hang on.
I think somebody's talking. They're not muted.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
It really is a house concert.
We have a lot of folks on today. Lots of
I'm
people.
so glad. It sounds, you don't know how good that sounded when I finished to hear like an audience. What I haven't heard that since March, and oh my gosh, that filled my heart. So Cheryl, to answer you, you know, I remember like being very young and listening to CKLW out of Detroit, right? That was what we got in Avon Lake, Ohio. That was the station. And like thinking that all the players like Cher actually was singing to me like live. But it never really occurred to me until later in my life that like somebody was writing these songs, you know, somebody was laying it down, and that I could actually do that. Like that was a choice. But I did write little songs. I think the first thing I ever wrote had something to do with slapping someone in the face. So I didn't start out real
Okay,
folky.
never shut up, never give in.
Yeah, I guess so. It's carried through. But it really wasn't until I was in college. I had switched majors probably 3 or 4 times. God bless my parents who were not like expectant of anything except for me to do what I wanted to do, which was a gift. You know, so I switched like majors. Oh my gosh. I think it was 4 times. And then it finally occurred to me like, oh, I want to do this. I want to be on these records. And then I discovered that I could write when I worked with a folk singer in Cleveland named Craig Robertson. I was working with his daughter at a card shop in Lakewood, Ohio. And she was like, my dad's a singer, songwriter, and he's looking for a backup singer. And I'm like, can I get his number? And I was his backup singer, but he wrote his own music, Craig Robertson. And we would play at the Barking Spider on the east side of Cleveland. And one day he's like, hey, I had told him I'd written a couple things. He's like, play it for me. And he heard a couple of my songs and said, I'm going to have you sing them Friday night at the Barking Spider. And that's how it just started to spin, spin, spin. And here I am.
And here you are. You know, I think all of these stories, and especially, you know, you talking about how music inspired you when you were young and listening to the radio and the artists who, you know, you wanted, that you sang along with, and, you know, realizing, oh my gosh, I can do this. And I think that's one of the things that is so amazing about Kid Pan Alley. You know, working with children, Kid Pan Alley has, you know, worked with over 65,000 children across the country and written well over 2,700 songs over the course of the past 21 years. And it's giving kids that power to be creative. But even especially right now, because with the pandemic, children have felt a sense of isolation. You know, they miss their friends, they miss being in school, they miss being with their teachers. And we've just been really fortunate. We were able to make the shift very quickly. Paul is, you know, he really does have vision and foresight, and he saw that, you know, even though things were shutting down, working with the children couldn't stop. It needed to continue, and they needed us now more than ever. And so we are really excited that this concert is dedicated to the children tonight. So as you are making donations, we hope that you will be generous and giving, because this will support the work that Kid Pan Alley does with all the children. As a matter of fact, we're going to feature a song right now.
Yeah, that we wrote with kids.
That we wrote with kids, with 4th and 6th graders on Zoom in April. And it really tells their story. So, you know what, Annie? I think there's some storytellers coming up in this world. So.
That's good news.
Yeah, so this one's called Staring Out My Window. And we just made an EP of 4 of the songs we've written during COVID about the kids talking about their experience, you know, being separated from their friends, not being able to go to school, being home. And I love this song. So Staring Out My Window, and you can hear it on our YouTube channel. We did a little video of it, and we had the great Kyle Davis sing it. And Kyle is amazing.
He is amazing.
He is such a great singer that Phil Ramone, one of the greatest producers of the 20th century, produced his album.
know I dream of when I'd play at school, at home, on holidays, and now no more today. And when the cherry blossoms bloom, there I'll be, stuck in my room all day. I'd reach out to hug you if I could only go outside. My teachers, classes, and my friends can't count the days gone by. The earth is spinning out of tune. Here I am, stuck in my room all day. What will it be like that day when we're not 6 feet away? And when all this is over, I'll go outside and play, and everyone around the world will celebrate that day. Every rose will finally bloom. I won't be stuck in my room, stuck in my room, won't be stuck in my room all day.
And you can't explain it away by the cost of living, cost of labor, or quality of care, It's just.
All right. That's great.
Let's see, somebody has unmuted their
That's all right. You know, so it's just amazing writing songs with children, because sometimes we think that they're just going to be silly, but just like this song, I mean, it's a very powerful song about kids just wanting to be outside and being engaged in the world, re-engaging. So, beautiful song.
Let's
So we're going to open up
chat and just to see if anybody wants to has anything they'd like to say.
and
So
let's
I
open
just
up
went
the
to
Zoom
gallery
and say,
view.
everybody say hi.
We got a lot of people here too, so everybody you can unmute yourself and say hi to Cy and Annie and us, all your friends.
Everybody. Hey, folks.
Hi. My
We're
goodness,
so
we
glad
see
to
some
have
very
you all here, and nice
familiar
to see our
faces.
friends. My friend Sue Shear's here, and all these people who I haven't seen in a while. So thanks for being here with us. And thanks to the people who come every week. And
Absolutely.
Hello from Alaska.
North
Yeah.
of Alaska. It feels like Alaska here. It has a couple days. And we're very excited because
Hey, from Seattle.
oh, there you go.
It's Gail and Judd from Rappahannock.
Hey, Gail. Hey, Gail, we're going to have some snow next week.
Oh, yeah, let's go play.
I know. We can build a snowman.
Okay, I'll bring the puppy. You haven't met the new puppy.
That's right. We need to do that.
Okay.
All right. It's time to swing back around and sigh. Okay, so now I've got to ask this question. Okay. So when I met Paul, you know, I was learning more about him and about his time with Trapezoid, and he always told me this story about a man who challenged him that he would buy him a drink every night if he wrote a song that day.
Well, the story.
Okay, got to tell the whole story, Paul.
True. Okay, well here's what I remember of the story. It was probably back in the early to mid 80s, and Cy and I were both teaching at the Augusta Heritage Arts Workshop in West Virginia. And I had stopped writing. I started writing songs when I was a kid, and then I went and got my degree in composition and theory in music, and that kind of burned me out, and I didn't write for many years. And I kind of said, well, why aren't you writing, Paul? And I said, oh, well, Lorraine's the writer in Trapezoid. I don't have anything to say. I'm too busy managing the band and playing guitar and things like that. And he said, well, I tell you what, I'm here for a week. If you get up every morning and you write a song and finish it and put it in a file folder and don't look at it for 6 months, I'll buy you a beer every night. And I thought, well, that's the best excuse I had for writing songs that had come up in a long time. And so I did it the first day. I said some really interesting things. He said, finish it. He didn't say make it good. He said, put it in a file folder and don't look at it for 6 months, which was the most brilliant thing of all. Because I think what happens is we start to write and then we look at it and say, oh, that kind of sucks. That's not very good. And we stop writing. And Cy, brilliant as he was, I went for 6 months pretty much writing a song every day. And then I found I didn't want to look at the songs because I was enjoying writing. And if
That's mute that again. I don't want them to hear
it went
us.
on for almost 3 years.
Mute the mic.
It almost 3 years before I looked at them. And some of the songs were good, and some of them were not very good, and some of them needed some work. But the great thing about it is I really learned how to write songs from that. And so I think we all owe Kid Pan Alley to Cy Kahn, and my thousands of songs now that I've written since then, about 3,000 songs, all thanks to Cy. So Cy,
You
I
are a
thank you
legend
and
in our household.
Thank you for the beer.
Yes. So what are you going to do for us now?
Well, he has to confirm if that's the truth.
Oh, that's right. You have to confirm that the story is accurate.
On the advice of my attorney, I will simply say, Paul, you still owe me 300 beers. Hey, Paul, thank you. I mean, I had forgotten all about that. It was kind of a cool idea. You were sitting there with all that talent, all that heart, all that music in you, and you did it. I mean, look what you did. It's great. So yes, Cheryl, it is true. I myself, I believe lips that touch wine shall never touch mine. I am a total teetotaler. I would never even smell the stuff, and it was pretty cheap beer.
That it was. It was West Virginia beer.
Hey, Paul, you done good, buddy. You done good. Yeah, no, it's a true story. It is true. It was a good time. We've had many good times.
Wonderful. All right, well, we would like to hear some more of your music.
Okay, so remember George Bush II said, read my lips? Was that him?
Yes,
okay, what he should have said was, read my T-shirt, right? Could you all kind of collectively, why don't you all unmute and chant my T-shirt?
Mother Jones in heaven.
Well done. Very, very well done. Okay, so tonight I'm going to do a song. Okay, so I don't know how many of you know about the great Irish immigrant Mother Jones, an agitator, an advocate for children, for adults who worked with the miners, the mill workers. She was called by a West Virginia prosecuting attorney the most dangerous woman in America. And she was. Although, as she points out in this musical, Mother Jones in Heaven, all women are dangerous. And when they organize together, they are as deadly as a bundle of dynamite with a 6-inch fuse. So right now, this is a musical, Mother Jones in Heaven. And as soon as the pandemic ends, my friends Vivian Nesbitt and John Dillon, Vivian, a third-generation actor, John, and playwright, John, a guitar builder, a music director, a guitarist and harmony singing, they are going to be traveling the country in the Mothermobile, performing Mother Jones in Heaven anywhere that people will have them. I watched them in the Irish American Heritage Center in Chicago bring a crowd of 400 people to their feet, cheering time and time and time again. These are great actors. They're really committed people. John's a wonderful songwriter. They do great arrangements. And actually, you can find some of John's work if you go to Folk Vote, just FOLKVOTE, which is my longtime friend and music manager, Art Medius, and I started back in June to use the power of music and musicians to encourage people to register and vote. You'll find some of John's great songs there. So I want to encourage everybody to go to www. You all got that? www? Is that, you wrote that down, right? Okay. And then motherjonesinheaven.com. And there you'll find all the information you need and a link to communicate with Viv and John right now, anticipating the end of the pandemic. Finally, they are booking shows for summer and fall of next year of 20 and 21. And if you go to that show and you don't think it was the best thing since sliced bread, with peanut butter, of course, I will personally refund your admission ticket, okay? You got it here. You got witnesses. Some pretty good people are witnessing this. So yeah, at the end of the show, Mother Jones sort of sums up her life and her career and her commitments, and she passes it on to us. So this would be ordinarily, so I am being both Vivian in that I'm acting and singing, and John in that I'm playing the guitar and singing harmony. This is called I Was There. I have been a radical for 60 years and more, stood against the rich and greedy, for the workers and the poor. From Canada to Mexico, I traveled everywhere. Wherever trouble called me, I was there. Like stitches in a crazy quilt that women piece and sew. Wherever trouble called me, I was bound to go. With angry words for cowardice, comfort for despair. Wherever I was needed, I was there. I was there in the Depression, when times were at their worst. But we had them where we wanted, like a dam about to burst. With fire in our bellies, revolution in the air. For a moment we saw clearly, I was there. There were times I saw the issues in quite a different light. Old friends turned against me, but I never left the fight. When stones were in my pathway and my road was far from clear, whether I chose right or wrongly, I was there. On a day when hope goes hungry and your dreams seem bound to fall, you may see me by the mill or just outside the Union Hall. When the clouds are empty promises, the sky a dark despair, like an eagle from the mountain, I'll be there. And you, my brave young comrades, when the future sounds the call, will you be there for the battle? Will you answer one and all? When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll's called anywhere, can you stand and answer proudly, we're still here? Will you stand and answer proudly, I was there?
Nice. Beautiful.
Oh,
Thank you all.
Oh, Cheryl, you're muted.
oh, I'm muted. Am I unmuted now? Now I'm unmuted. That was beautiful.
Oh,
How
thank
many,
you.
Sai, how many scores have you done? How many musicals have you written?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, first I want to point out that this is something that Paul and I share. We both write musicals. It's our secret life. I think, people know Paul as the founder of Trapezoid, which was a really weirdly shaped band.
It was.
I mean, think about it. Yeah.
That was not the only way it was weird.
I actually know why you called it Trapezoid, because Paul was playing hammer and dulcimer, and that has a trapezoidal shape, right? So great band. And you guys do Kid Band Alley and you write songs, but Paul's secret life and my secret life are musicals. I grew up on musicals. My dad was the rabbi at Penn State back in the great football years. Pop was a working class kid. He loved contact sports. And I am not saying that he ever rushed the Saturday morning services. We were Shomer Shabbos. We were religiously observant. And it was like 2 miles from the synagogue to Beaver Stadium, which is where Penn State played. I am just saying that in all those years, we never missed an opening kickoff. I'm just saying that. And today I've been back a couple times to State College, Pennsylvania, where Penn State's located. And today it's like 40,000 students and 40,000 town people. When I was a kid, there was about 6,000 of each, and it was. It was a little cow college, a land-grant university, which most famous for its ice cream and its cows, and its football team, and its basketball team. And, we actually had cornfields growing up to our backyard. It was actually a great way to grow up. And the only thing to do was to go to for entertainment, aside from the movie theater where for 17 cents you got 2 features, a short feature, and 17 cartoons on Saturday morning, a bargain. And but the thing to do was to go to the musicals that the college theater department put on, and I fell in love with musicals as an art form and as a political form. People forget that some of those musicals are extraordinary in their politics. Like for example, Guys and Dolls, a great tribute to working class life. If you take South Pacific, one of the very first times in mainstream America that you actually see an interracial romance. It was boycotted because of that. It was what's the word? Scoriulated. That's a new word. Write that down. Scoriulated. Okay. Trademark.
Word.
Right. And I just love writing. But so the answer, Cheryl, is that I've been a part of 7. Some I wrote the songs but not the script. Some I wrote the script but not the songs.
Wow.
Some I did both. Mother Jones in Heaven, I did both. And you really have to see Vivian and John perform it. It's just beautiful. If I do say so myself, they really bring it to life. Okay, so in this, one of the things that I do is, that I share with so many of the artists that the world in which we swim, is just a love for traditional music. And one of the things that I do in my songwriting is I will take just the folk music equivalent, the bluegrass equivalent of a literary reference. And so I will hide inside a song 3 notes, 4 lines, in the hope that it will resonate with some people, not most. Okay, so in the song, I Was There, Mother Jones sings, "When stones were in my pathway." Why doesn't she sing, "When stones were in my pathway"?
Oh. Well, you know what? We're all going to have to go and watch and listen.
Right.
And be part of it.
John Dillon just came into the Zoom room.
Yeah. But it's okay. I'm going to tell you because I don't know what there's no party after tonight, after tonight's show, so I won't be able to talk with you individually. So the line "stones, when stones were in my pathway," that is a tribute to the great African American blues musician Robert Johnson, and his song "I Got Stones in My Pathway, and My Road is Dark as Night." So that's an example of how I try to pay honor to the tradition, but also to pass it on. And I hope that after I'm gone, which is going to be a long time from now, that it'll take 6 ethnomusicologists at least most of their lifetimes to find all of these things. And, you know, it's my contribution to full employment in our country.
Well, absolutely, and I'm excited, and I'm going to do a lot more research on Mother Jones, and I'm going to hold you to that ticket. We'll have to. I'm really hoping for just everything to open up because there's a lot of things.
I've seen it. You won't want your money back.
Okay, all right. So I won't. Okay, well we'll have.
But Cheryl, the catch is, I'll only reimburse you if you don't like it.
Oh well.
And that is a safe bet, believe me.
Okay. Oh my
Sounds
gosh.
good, Si.
So now we're going to swing to Annie. Annie, something that has to do with that poster. Is that what's coming up next?
It is.
All right.
So this week on December 15th, there's a woman named Bernice Falk Haydu, known as B, she's celebrating 100 years being alive, and she was one of the women in this song I'm about to sing for you. During World War II, she ferried planes. After the war, she opened up a Cessna shop, so she sold Cessna planes, but she was one of the women who went to work during World War II and piloted planes, trained men how to fly planes. This woman was brought to my attention by my friend Bruce, who's on right now, Bruce Scherer, who is a nut about the WASP, the Women's Air Force Service Pilots. And he's a huge fan. So he sent me word about me. Isn't that cool? And so we're going to, people are going to send her birthday cards, and mine needs to get in the mail tomorrow. But she's one of the women that are the topic of this song that I wrote after I was one day looking at that iconic picture of Rosie the Riveter, right? It's like, that's something you see and you do not have to be reminded of that. You never forget it. And I realized I didn't know a lot about that woman in that, that picture with her bandana and her fist and those fantastic eyes. And so I looked it up and I found out about this group of women who were volunteers during World War II. They were not paid for what they did. They did it for their country, and they did it because they loved to fly. So this is their story. This song has been really great to me. It's opened doors for me, and it's going to be part of we're going to make a video. I got a call because of Bruce sharing this song with the National WASP Museum in Sweetwater, Texas. I'm going to make a video of this song with footage that they have in the museum, and then it's going to be used in an exhibit that's going to be a traveling exhibit. So you talk about children, you all opening the door for children to songwriting. This exhibit's going to open the door to children and women and men all over who are going to finally learn the story of these women. So I'm very excited about it, and I thank my Bruce for sharing the song and being so proud of these women. So this is Girls in Airplanes. She joined the girls flying B-17s when her country called. She said, oh, look, I'm capable. Oh, look, I'm strong. Don't try and tell me where I belong. I'll never shut up, never give in, never gonna keep my feet on the
released, but that Max had been using drugs. The officers had
sacrificed, led us to a brand new world and gave us wings to fly. We'll never shut up, we'll never give in, never gonna keep our feet on the ground again. We'll never back down or give up our dreams, never forget we can do anything. Girls and airplanes, girls and airplanes, come on. Girls and airplanes, girls and airplanes. Sing it with me. Girls and airplanes, yep. Girls and airplanes. She was a clerk in an office out in Arkansas, and she joined the girls flying B-17s when a country called. Oh, look, she's beautiful. Oh, look, she's strong. This big wide world is where we belong. Woo!
Wow. Oh my gosh, what a tribute. What a tribute for 100th birthday. Oh my God. First of all, girls and I was singing. And when you were doing that last verse, I was still singing Girls and Airplanes. And it was just like, holy
I
cow.
was hoping.
Yeah, it was just amazing and so inspirational. And I think, that's what Kid Panelli wants to bring to kids. And just like the power of you singing and your voice and the story that you had to share, kids have that story too. Each and every one of them have a story inside. They have a feeling, an experience, a wish, a hope, and a dream. And so I hope I'm going to take this moment to ask each and every one of you to make a donation, to give a child a gift of creative songwriting, the gift of music, allowing their voice to be heard. $25 supports one child. You can support 4 children with $100. The larger, the better. That's all I can say. It always works because it just helps more children. So every dollar is appreciated, obviously, and your generosity is appreciated. So now I'm going to introduce an amazing songwriter, performer.
Okay, and you can donate through PayPal or Venmo. It's on the bottom of the screen there.
That's right.
Right now.
But you interrupted.
I did interrupt you, dear. Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged. But, Paul came up with this idea back in 1999. And when I met Paul, he was working with some students of mine. And I was just amazed at how he was able to reach them and touch them in such a short period of time, in such a creative way. And so I want to introduce an amazing artist, songwriter, Mr. Paul Reisler.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. Okay, let's see here. Let me get this again. All right. Every week I play an instrumental, I guess just to keep my fingers in gear. But the problem is that we've been doing this now for 25 or 30 shows now, and I've tried not to repeat things, and so I've had to go back to pieces I wrote 25 or 30 years ago that I can no longer remember and listen to them on record and try and figure them out. And this is one of them. It was a tune we recorded with Trapezoid for, we were on a label called Narada for a while, and they had an album called The Wilderness Collection, and I wrote it for that. It came about, my late wife Julie Portman and I were trekking in Nepal, and we had a god-awful trek up this, basically right up the side of a mountain in the Annapurna Range. And we got about, it was a long, long day, and then we got up to this place where it was flat and a plateau in this beautiful lake. And the word Tal means lake in Nepali, and so I named this piece after that, and it really kind of follows our journey. I didn't get the whole thing figured out, so I'm going to start improvising some way through, because there was this place where everybody in Trapezoid was just playing, and it sounded so beautiful, but I can't figure out what the guitar was doing through it, so we'll see what happens.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thanks, honey.
I know, I always love it. You know, as we're getting ready for these concerts, I hear Paul playing. He plays every day, but it's always wonderful to hear the beautiful songs that you've written.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl.
So, very, very excited about this evening. I want to tell you a little bit about what's coming. so that I don't forget. We have a concert, another great concert that will be dedicated to Kid Penally, coming on December 27th. And two amazing artists, Holly Near, who is just, has been around for many, many years. Holly was the first woman to create her own independent record company. She also is an actress, and she actually performed on a couple shows. Now, this is gonna show my age, I guess, but maybe some of you will remember the Mod Squad, Room 222. She also, I think, had a role in the Broadway production of Hair.
She was in Hair.
She was in Hair, yeah.
In the first, the very first production of it.
So we're very excited to have Holly join us. I had the opportunity to meet her. She's just an amazing woman. And she is going to be partnered with Natalia Zuckerman, who actually has performed with us in one of our concerts earlier on. But Natalia will be joining us, and she's also an amazing songwriter.
Total delight.
Yes.
Holly is a force of nature.
Yes, she is.
I have known Holly for a long time. We, Trapezoid did an album with Holly back in 1985. We were her band on the album Watch Out, and we toured with her and Ronnie Gilbert, who Ronnie Gilbert was one of the Weavers, one of the most famous folk groups in American history. And what an honor it was to get to perform with them.
So make sure that you circle that date on your calendar, December 27th, 7 p.m. Come join us. Join us in the Zoom room or join us on Facebook Live. It'll be a wonderful concert. So we're going to swing back around, and we're going to open it back up to Cy. Cy, what will you play for us now?
You're muted, Cy.
I am going to play Unmute. Okay, so it was just about 10 years ago. I was minding my own business to the extent that I ever do, and I got an email from somebody I'd never heard of, a guy named Dan Strickland, and he said, give me a call. And you know, he says, I'm up here in Alaska, I'm a commercial fisherman in Bristol Bay, probably a place you've never heard of, and we're trying to stop something called the Pebble Mine. And out of curiosity, I called him, and I said, so what's this about? He said, you know, Bristol Bay, Alaska, is the richest remaining wild sockeye salmon fishery in the entire world. It's the home to indigenous peoples whose villages have been on the same river sites for over 10,000 years. It employs thousands of people in the summer in a sustainable, healthy fishery. And I'm sorry to say this to my Canadian friends, but a Canadian mining corporation wants to build the world's largest open pit gold and copper mine right in the headwaters where the salmon spawn. And Dan said, you know, it'll be the end of everything. It'll be the end of these indigenous cultures, people who live by subsistence, who hunt and fish. It'll be the end of employment and of a way of life that has existed and persisted for thousands of years. And he said, you know, we have a remarkable fight that brings together people who aren't always on the same side. The people who fish commercially, the people who fish for sport, the people who fish for subsistence. He says the packing, the canneries, the river guides, the lodges where people fly to come fish. He says, we're all in this together, but we don't have a theme song. And he said, if you will come to Alaska and write us a theme song, Paul, this is going to be straight to your heart. We will give you all the homemade beer you can drink. Do I have a witness, Paul? And he said, all the smoked salmon you can eat, straight to my Jewish heart. Bring your own bagels. The bagels aren't really very good up there. Anyway, so, I mean, okay. I mean, I sort of, I'm something of a political radical, but personally I'm pretty conservative, and I'm not going to get on an airplane because somebody tells me that I have all the, I have no idea who this guy is. So I called the only human being I knew in Alaska, a bluegrass band leader and former Alaska state senator named Suzanne Little. For those who follow bluegrass, her kid brother is Keith Little. And I said, so do you know this guy? Is he real? Is he in prison? Is he even in Alaska? She said, oh, no, Dan's totally on the level. It's a great fight. And yeah, you should come. So I came, and as Suzanne and Dan and I traveled the state, went to Bristol Bay, talked to everybody, because I'm looking for songs. I'm looking for themes for songs. And we thought, how could we tap the power of music and the power and access of musicians to play a role in this fight to stop the proposed Pebble Mine and to protect Bristol Bay until at least 7 generations? So we started something called Musicians United to Protect Bristol Bay. We recruited almost 500 musicians around the world to write songs and to use their media access, their electronic newsletters, their social media, so that when we needed action, when we needed letters written, when we needed people to rally together, we could go to our members, they would go to their fans, and that would help. Half a dozen months ago, I actually thought we'd lost. It looked like the forces of the Trump administration, who are determined to savage the earth and to destroy everything, not in just for 7 generations, but forever. It looked like they were going to allow the mine. And then, just a month ago, my inbox started filling up with emails that said, we won. And the Army Corps of Engineers, against all expectations, had issued a ruling that the mine could not be built because of the damage that it would do to lives, communities, work, the environment, fish, the caribou, everything that exists in this wonderful wild place. It's not completely over yet, but it's very close. My good friend, Norm Van Vactor, who showed me around Bristol Bay and has been a part of that fight for years, is watching tonight. So this is for Norm, this is for Suzanne, for Dan, for all the amazing people that I met going back and forth to Alaska for 10 years. I would have been there this summer if it weren't for the pandemic. I hope that next August I will be back in Alaska and we can celebrate this wonderful victory. Every night we see the moon ascending from the earth. Each new day we rise up to watch the sun's rebirth. Every month the new moon wanes to give the old moon way. Every year salmon return to Bristol Bay, past the shoals and the rapids where the river runs strong, past 100 different dangers that make their way so long. No matter how impossible their ancient journey seems, the salmon swim upstream. If you were a newborn salmon, if you had your say, would you think it worth the effort to even swim away? Knowing the statistics everybody learns of all the millions that are born, only 1 or 2 return. Past the shoals and the rapids where the currents run strong, past 100 different dangers that make the way so long. No matter how impossible their ancient journey seems, the salmon swim upstream. We are like the salmon, yet not like them at all. They number in the millions, our numbers are small. No matter how impossible our way to victory seems. We fight our way upstream, past the shoals and the rapids where the currents run strong, past the million different dangers that make the race so long. No matter how impossible their ancient journey seems, the salmon swim upstream, past the mining corporations whose millions make them strong, past the paid-up politicians who string us along. No matter how impossible our way to victory seems, we fight our way upstream.
That is so cool. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, we do. You know, we keep, it's almost like the past 7-8 months, we've all been fighting our way upstream, I think.
Yes.
Trying to make our way, and we just keep going.
Yeah, and you know, and I mean, I am such an Annie DeChant fan. One of these days I'll learn how to pronounce her name. But you know, remember that song, Teach Your Children Well? I mean, I'm into like name your children well. If you name your daughter Annie, DECHANT, Annie of the song, what do you expect her to do, right? I mean, seriously. But Annie has got it right. And that sign in her, and I just like, girls, the song about the girls in their place, that is a magnificent song.
I know.
That is just an unbelievable song. But the sign on the wall, Annie's got it right. Never give up.
So let's
never give in.
Absolutely.
And that's the lesson.
Yeah, you're right. And so, Annie,
Yes.
what are you going to bring to us next?
First of all, I want to tell you that Erin is very embarrassed. She is a Canadian, and she knew the mining company was Canadian, so it's really irks her, keeps her up at night sometimes. But we're very happy about the news of Bristol Bay, the recent news. That was a huge win, and we've been watching and contributing, and so just here's to all of you for that good fight, man.
Hey, Erin, listen, I mean, our partners in the fight were Canadians. And
Right.
without, some of the great Canadian organizations and some of the great Canadian activists, we work together across the border. And I believe I have Canadian roots. I'm not going to go into the story now, but my grandfather, my Zadie, after he deserted the Tsar's army in Russia, was a pick and shovel laborer helping build the Canadian Pacific Railway. So I have a special feeling for Canada. But yeah, okay, on behalf of the people of Bristol Bay, I forgive you.
She'll sleep with a smile on her face tonight.
All right. And you'll sing her that wonderful song.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for
No,
it.
your song.
Oh, I'm going to sing you
every
one.
little everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will. I'm going to do one for you now, but I just want to let you know that when I finish this song, I'm going to give away a prize, and it'll be to the first person that makes a donation tonight. Not the first person who already has, but when I finish the song and show you the prize, the first person who makes a nice donation, and Paul's keeping tabs on that, I know, I'll mail the prize to you. I can't show it to you beforehand, though, because I'll give away the song, and I don't want to do that. So I did need to say that, well, I will say that my good friend Fry Gilliard, a friend of yours too, Cy, he introduced us. He and I wrote this next song, and it's on the new record. It made it to the greatest hits, but I wrote this after I saw a news story here in Nashville one evening, and there was a gentleman, and I say gentleman because that's what he was. He was being walked out of prison after having been there for years and years. I think it was like around 2016. It was a year when something must have happened in forensic science, because this was happening around the country. There were 3 men released in Cleveland, Ohio, where I'm from, that same year. But this gentleman was in Nashville, and he had been found innocent. So he'd been in prison for something he didn't do. And as I watched him being walked out, I was just amazed at how he was. He was graceful. And it's got me thinking, and I don't know up to that point if I'd ever actually sat and thought about what it would be like to be in prison, like really, really thought about it. And I started like making this file in my head of things that I would miss, even like sleeping in and having a cup of coffee. But there was one thing that came to me immediately that I knew it would be so difficult to be removed from. And that's what started the idea of this song. And then I began it, and I got a little stuck, and I thought, I got to pick the right person to join me on this song. And I chose Fry Gilliard. And so he came over one day. He came up from Mobile to Nashville, and we finished this. So here we go. This is Go Get Joe. And I love you all. Thanks for being here. I was volunteering at the penitentiary, visiting with prisoners who felt like company. One day this guy and I got talking through the glass. I was wondering what he missed, so I just asked. He said, I miss sleeping in, driving my car, breakfast at the biscuit house, and shooting pool at the bar. But more than anything else, I miss the best friend I know, my dog Joe, 'cause he loves me in spite of every stupid thing I've done. And I've done a lot of stupid things, but in his eyes I do no wrong. He's happy to be with me wherever we are. So when I get out of here, I'm jumping in my car and hang a left on Sawmill Road to go get Joe. He said when I found Joe, he was skin and bones, a drifter like me with no place to call his home. Sometimes you find salvation when you fall between the tracks. I think God gave me that pup so we'd bring each other back. I held out half my sandwich, he wouldn't take it from my hand. Not trusting anybody was something I could understand. But you should see him now, he's almost 60 pounds. It might be a sin, but I'm proud, 'cause he loves me in spite of every stupid thing I've done. And I've done a lot of stupid things, but in his eyes I'm number one. He's happy to be with me wherever we are. So when I get out of here, I'm jumping in my car and hang a left on Sawmill Road to go get Joe. last time I volunteered at the penitentiary, I asked about that guy who felt like company. They said the day he got out, he jumped into his car and hung a left on Sawmill Road. Yeah.
Wow. That was amazing. All right, so Paul is checking everything that we can find, and while he's looking to see who is going to
Who's
be
first to donate now?
first to
I'll show you. You want me to show you the prize?
Sure.
This could kick it up a notch, Cheryl.
Okay. All right, show us the prize.
Okay, so this is a shirt that I sell at shows and help raise money for another cause that I'm interested in. But it says, I don't care what happens in a country song as long as the dog lives.
Oh.
So that's one that we sell a lot of. And so I want to give this to the first person that has responded after that song. I will mail this to you. All we need is your mailing address, and I will put it in the mail tomorrow for you.
Well,
Okay,
it
it
looks
was-
as though Lynn Van Vector.
Lynn Van Vector. Oh, that's a great name.
I know.
Lynn Van Vector. Why couldn't I have been named that?
But I have to really take just a few minutes to thank those who've been donating all night long. You
Nice.
know, it means so much to us, and it means so much to the children. So I'm going to, I'm not really good. I don't want to mess up anyone's last name, so I'm going to call you by your first name. But we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and the children as well. To Ann and Mitch, Gayla, DeWitt, Jim, Catherine, Donald, Brian, James, Tracy and John, Patricia, Elena, Gail and Judd, Lynn, and for all of those who I haven't gotten your names down yet because we've been trying to keep track through this evening. Thank you so much. It means so much to the children. When we see them on Zoom, they come into the chat, to the Zoom room, and the first thing that happens is they light up because they get a chance to see their friends. And then as they start to write their song and they start to come up with ideas and brainstorm them, they stay totally engaged. A lot of times in Zoom, people disengage and they turn off their video, and so you never really quite know if they're there. But the kids, they always keep their videos on, and they're always looking, watching Paul's reaction or my reaction, and it just goes so fast. In just 2 hours, the children collectively write their own song, and it's really amazing. And so my goal tonight was that we would be able to raise enough money for 100 children. So keep those donations coming in and help us. $25. If everyone in the chat room just gave $25, we would get so close. So close. All right, so we're going to close out this evening. What a wonderful time. It's been just so amazing to listen to the stories and the songs. Sai, you are just unbelievable.
You are a treasure.
You
my
are a
friend.
treasure. And Annie, I just love your music. It's just so energetic, and you pour your heart and soul into it. You are so passionate about your music.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. It's
Thank you.
such an honor to be with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, we hope to have you all back again, and we wish you very, very safe, happy holidays and family gatherings this winter. So we're going to close with the song that was written.
Wait, but before you close,
Yeah.
you guys are wonderful. What you're doing is such a stunningly wonderful, important, generous, gracious, celebratory thing. And I think, you talk about how much it means to the children, but those of us who are parents, who are grandparents, who don't have children by choice, but who are friends with neighborhood children and who, put out the decorations on Halloween. You too, Cheryl and Paul, you helped build the beloved community that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about. And you were a vital part of that community, so I thank you.
Thank you, Cy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and it does. It means so much for us to hear that from you, old friend. And I realize that there are so many people who are watching tonight who are not necessarily part of our regular audience. And I just wanted to mention a little bit about what we do at Kid Pan Alley. Since so many people from all over the country, from as far away as Alaska, I guess. We've been writing songs with kids for 21 years now. We've written about 2,700 songs, and a lot of them have been recorded by well-known artists, including Amy Grant, Delbert McClinton, Kix Brooks, Sissy Spacek, Susie Boggess, Nashville Chamber Orchestra, and because the songs are amazing. Kids really have what it takes to write songs, and so it's been a great gift in my life to get to hang out with kids all day and write these songs. And especially now, they're so, everybody's upside down. And this gives them an opportunity to get together with their friends and classmates and do something, not just, doing a sit and get from the teacher, but something where they're being creative, where they're working together, and they're making something out of the challenges we're all going through. And we'd like to finish off with a Christmas song that we wrote with kids. Let's see, it was
At Claude Thompson Elementary.
Thompson Elementary in
Third
Marshall,
graders.
Virginia. And they were third graders. It's called If Christmas Sang to Me. Beautiful, beautiful song from the third graders. And thanks to everyone who's joined us tonight.
Thank you, Ryan.
And we hope that, and thanks to Ryan, who does a lot of the
Always
technical
does
things.
the tech, yeah.
And we hope you will join us in 2 weeks on the 27th for my old friend Holly Neer, who is an icon, a legend, and everything else you could think of to say about her.
And Natalia Zuckerman.
Yeah, Natalia is amazing and from one of the most incredible classical musical families in the world. Her father is the violinist Pinchas Zuckerman, and her mother the flautist Eugenia Zuckerman. So she comes by it naturally.
No.
Unlike me.
Okay, here we go. If Christmas sang to me, I'd listen for the bells. I'd sing along in harmony. Peace and love would set us free, chase away the darkness of the night. Bring us all the colors of the light. I'd believe if Christmas sang to me. When I was a child, Mom sang lullabies to help me sleep, quiet me down and make me happy. It comforted me, it made me calm. Milk and cookies and a bedtime song with Mom. If Christmas sang to me, I'd listen for the bells. I'd sing along in harmony. Peace and love would set us free, chase away the darkness of the night. Bring us all the colors of the lights. I'd believe if Christmas sang to me. Decorate the tree with ornaments we made so long ago, with all their memories and their meaning. Dad lifts me up to put the star on the top, waiting up for Santa until we drop with Pop. If Christmas sang to me, I'd listen for the bells. I'd sing along in harmony. Peace and love would set us free, chase away the darkness of the night, bring us all the colors of the light. I believe if Christmas sang to me. I believe if Christmas sang to me. Oh, I believe if Christmas sang to me.
All right.
Thank
Have
you
a
all.
wonderful Christmas, everyone.
Thank you. Very happy holidays. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you on the 27th.
Yeah, and I think I'll play a little bit of Holly going out here.
Okay.
So,
But thank you, Cy. Thank you, Annie.
Thank you,
Thank
Cheryl and
you.
Paul.
Thank you, audience.
Ryan.
Thank you,
Amazing
audience members.
show.
Right. Thank you to everyone.
if anyone would like to say anything, I'll open up the Zoom room.
That's right.
now.
We'll open up Zoom room and you can say hi to friends and just reconnect. Take this moment to reconnect. Don't hesitate to unmute yourself.
Cheryl, that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I love it's your singing is so very honest. It's just like it's beautiful, and then it's right. It comes right straight out. You know.
So much.
It's beautiful.
Hey, Jen. There's our executive director and an
Hi.
singer too.
Oh my gosh, this show got me down I-95 from New York to Washington.
Wow.
It inspired me to keep on driving. What a show. And then I got to come home and to put my camera on. Thank you guys so much, Cy and Ann. Wow, you were amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. Everybody was amazing.
So
everybody was amazing.
The audience was amazing.
Unmute, and you can say hi.
Hi, Cy. This is Elena in Colorado, and thank you guys. And Paul,
Hi,
I
Elena.
from a long time.
What happened here? There it is.
Yeah, I saw you in the little bar across the. Hey, there's Elena. So great to see you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I'll definitely be there for a years.
Hi, Cy. It's your cousin Gila from
Hi,
Boston. Thank you so much for introducing.
Yeah.
Thank you for introducing me to this fantastic group. I donated to them, and I hope to listen to the next concert and become a regular member.
Oh, thank you, Gila.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Happy
so much.
Hanukkah to everybody. Chag Sameach.
Right. Let's keep those lights shining bright in these dark times.
Nice.
Thank you.
My cousin.
Okay, well, thanks.
Greetings from Alaska, Cy.
Thank you so much for being with us. We
Okay,
so enjoyed it. Have a good evening,
Here,
everyone.
I'll play a little bit of Holly going
Here's
out
Holly Near going out.
One night I dreamed I was in slavery.
Good, Annie, Mom and Dad.
It was the time. Sorrow was the only sign. Nothing around to ease my mind. Out of the night appeared a lady leading a distant pilgrim band. First mate, she yelled, pointing her hand, "Make room aboard for this young woman," singing, "Come on up, I got a lifeline. Come on up to this train of mine. Come on up, I got a lifeline. Come on up to this train of mine." She said her name was Harriet Tubman, and she drove for the Underground Railroad. Hundreds of miles we traveled onward, gathering slaves from town to town, seeking every lost and found, setting those free that once were bound. Somehow my heart was growing weaker, I fell by the wayside, sinking sand. Firmly did this lady stand, lifted me up and took my hand, singing, come on up. I got a lifeline, come on up to this train of mine. Come on up, I got a lifeline, come on up to this train of mine. Who are these children dressed in red? They must be the ones that Moses led. Who are these children dressed in red? They must be the ones that Moses led. Singing, come on up, I got a lifeline, come on up to this train of mine. Come on up, I got a lifeline, come on up to this train of mine. She said her name was Harriet Tubman, and she drove for the Underground Railroad. Follow the drinking gorge.
Okay, well,
All right.
everybody, thanks so much. And
Thank
I
you.
hope we'll see you all on the 27th. Have a wonderful holiday season. And big thanks to Cy and Annie for a wonderful, wonderful show.
Thank you.
So enjoyed the music.
Good night, all. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you guys.